I know I'm right, but find out why I may very well be wrong on today's edition of Liberty at Home. Hello there, everyone. Pastor Adam Rivero here, welcoming you back to ECAT for Liberty at Home, a weekly 5-minute devotional from the Liberty Baptist Church on Route 138. Today, as always, we're broadcasting from Easton, Massachusetts, the former home of one of the Commonwealth's best mini golf courses, Golf Country. May you rest in peace. Today, we're continuing our study of Proverbs, which takes us to a single verse, just a single verse, in chapter 21. So consider Proverbs 21, verse 2, together with me. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. You know, there's a near universal principle of life, and that's this: everybody thinks they're right. After all, if people didn't think they were right, they wouldn't do what they do. Everybody thinks they're the one who's right at the four-way stop when nobody wants to go, or when everybody wants to go at the same time. Everybody thinks they're right about how much is appropriate to tip at a restaurant. And of course, everybody thinks they're right when it comes to politics. Shocker there, I know. Whether the issue is large or small, trivial or impactful, everybody thinks they're right. But there's another universal truth that coincides with the first, and that's this: not everybody is right. So, how do we bridge the gap between these two polar opposite truths? Well, Proverbs 21, verse 2 ponders that very question. The first half of the verse sets out the problem. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. This statement is undeniable, even to those who don't believe the Bible is true. But it's the second half of the verse that settles the issue of who is right when everyone thinks they're right. But the Lord pondereth the hearts. You see, in a world where everyone thinks they're right, it's the Lord who's always right. He alone is the arbiter between right and wrong, between good and bad, between holy and sinful. And his positions on all of these matters are laid out for us within his holy word, so that we're not left without guidance. As we look into the perfect law of liberty, as this book is called in the book of James, we can determine whether our deeply held positions and convictions are truly right or wrong. That's why 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 says, all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. You see, this is not just a book, but it's God's look at our heart. Now, I can hear some skeptics on the other side of the screen saying something like this: but Adam, I don't believe the Bible is true. I don't hold it to be the standard of what is right or wrong, nor could it possibly speak to all the issues of life. And look, I understand that sentiment to a point, but I would challenge that thinking with another question. If the Bible is not your standard for living, then what is? Because everyone has a standard by which they should live their life, and by which they judge their actions as either righteous or not. Is it another religious text? Is it your own personal code of ethics? Or is it just your personal whims and desires? Say what you will, but everybody follows someone or something to determine their standards of right and wrong. As for me, I believe that the blessed book that has changed millions of lives over 2,000 plus years and is still changing lives today. And I believe in the God of that very same book, who has shown himself to be alive and active over and over again. So, how do we know if we're right, especially in light of the fact that we always think we're right? By allowing the Lord to observe our hearts and letting his perfect law of liberty shape the way we live and correct us when necessary. This book is so relevant that it even sets out principles that speak about modern issues of life that it didn't spell out specifically, like how we should drive or how we should treat those who serve us at a restaurant. Well, there are many different standards people may choose to live by. I would humbly but emphatically submit to you that the Bible is the standard of truth for humanity. Let the book take a look at your heart today. Well, this episode of Liberty at Home has come to an end. But before it does, I want to invite you to visit us this coming week at Liberty Baptist Church. Like I mentioned at the top, we meet at 800 Washington Street right here at Easton. You can watch our services online, listen to our sermons via podcast, and learn more about our church, all by visiting our website, mylibertybaptist.org. I hope this is the week that you stop by and see us. Well, this is Pastor Adam Rivero signing off by reminding you that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Join us again next week, same time, same channel, for our next episode of Liberty at Home.